Hi, I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories coming up on today's show. Swift Current Mayor and Council voted in favor of a 9.2% tax increase at Monday's meeting in Chambers. A new mobile simulation lab has become a reality for the heavy-duty equipment operator training program at Great Plains College. The annual review of the top 201 places to live in Canada has been unveiled by Money Sense magazine. Thanks for joining us here today. The City of Swift Current has unveiled its 2014 budget, and taxpayers will once again be hit in the pocketbooks. Swift Current Mayor and Council voted in favor of a 9.2% tax increase at Monday's meeting in Chambers. And initially, for the average homeowner, this will result in a monthly tax increase of $6.67. However, once combined with the Capital Reserve bylaw levy approved by Council 2 weeks ago, the average homeowner will now see an additional $4.82 added onto their total monthly bill, working out to a total of approximately $11.49 monthly or $137.88 a year. The overall value of the 2014 Swift Current City budget is $67.1 million, compared to $64.7 million the previous year. This includes $48.7 million for operating and utility expenses, and $18.4 million for capital expenditures. Highlights of the overall budget include $895,000 to Light and Power, $123,000 to Culture, to enhance the permanent collection at the Art Gallery and create a historical legacy project for Swift Current and the Southwest, and $309,000 to the Fire Department for a new pumper truck. Improvements will also be made to the Chinook Pathway, solid waste collection, roads, and sidewalks. A budget which Mayor Jared Schaefer says sets a positive course for the future of Swift Current after years of little or no tax increases.
The reality of what we're trying to do, and I talked a little bit about this tonight, is, if you go back to 1992, and 1992 we had 11 straight years of 0%, and since then we've had about 14 years of 0%. And the reality of it is when you have so many years of zero, when the catch-up comes, there's significant numbers like this. And basically what we're trying to accomplish with our adjustment is to get to a point where, going forward, we pay for what we need to deliver the operational services out of cash flow. We don't rely on debt for that. If we're going to use debt, it's only going to be for major capital purchases.
He further adds that Council and administration also address the balancing of wants versus needs in this budget. This includes no new full-time staff positions for 2014 and enhancing areas such as street maintenance, specifically snow removal. He further states that the 2014 budget now shows a shift of how the city does business, while relying less on debt.
Expectations in a community are really difficult to manage. Nobody likes the thought of increases. Nobody likes the percentages that are around these things. People don't focus on the actual dollars that they mean. As I said, and as I've said often before, people can criticize our debt level as being wasteful spending. But the reality of it is we turn on the tap and we don't think about how the water is made or where it comes from or what it costs to do it. When we pull the drain or flush the toilet, the water goes away and we don't have to think about it. What we think about is when we see a pothole in the street and it's not fixed immediately, that's the immediate concern we have. Or if we're an hour into a snowstorm and the streets aren't cleared, we feel that and see that right away, and we feel like we're lacking service there. So judging the expectations, I think, in our community is probably what makes this budget tough, because we're going through a pretty substantial shift in how we do business in the city.
And following a recap of the budget highlights at the annual Swift Current Chamber of Commerce State of the City address later in the week, the following comments were made from local business representatives in attendance.
There's always taxes if you're going to have services, so I think the city's done a good job of managing that. Our taxes haven't increased that dramatically, although in some areas it has. If the businesses are doing well, I think the taxes are there. But in order to pay for all these services, I guess we have to pay for them.
It's great to see the city taking the initiative on fiscal responsibility, but also looking forward into the future and spending the dollars that need to be spent to move the community forward. It's difficult. Nobody wants to spend money when they don't have to. But certainly for us to take the city where it needs to go, we need that investment from our citizens and from corporate citizens as well.
Copies of the 2014 municipal budget will be available to view online on the city's website or from City Hall. Federal funding will assist students at Great Plains College enrolled in the Heavy-Duty Equipment Training Program. We have more in this report. A new mobile simulation lab has become a reality for the Heavy-Duty Equipment Operator Training Program at Great Plains College, following an investment of $230,000 by Western Economic Diversification Canada. The announcement was made at the GPC campus in Swift Current by Cypress Hills Grasslands MP David Anderson. And thanks to a partnership with Kramer Limited and the funding from WED, tuition costs for this program will be cut in half and be more attractive to students while training in a new state-of-the-art mobile simulation lab.
And that's one of the keys to addressing the market demand in the province, is to find a way to reduce costs. With the help of WD and our partner Kramer, we found a way to do that.
Now with the funding in place, GPC will be able to purchase the simulator equipment for the mobile lab. And the lab itself will assist training at any of the GPC sites in the province, along with employer job sites or other locations around Saskatchewan. A new partnership which Kramer Limited is pleased to be a part of while assisting local employers.
This is something that our customers are always asking us about, is how we can help them get some more qualified people in the seats of the equipment. And when Great Plains approached us about getting involved with this project, it just was a natural fit for us. So we were really excited to get involved, and again, the CAT simulators are cutting edge. I mean, motion platforms, they really give a sense of what it's like to operate those machines.
Scott Lamb of Swift Current graduated from the heavy-duty mechanics course at GPC 10 years ago and says the training made a world of difference in his life, as he now owns his own company and is excited to see the mobile lab move forward.
The program's really good. It just bridges the gap between industry and someone with no experience.
A winning investment for education while strengthening the local economy.
We need to have more young people going into the skilled trades, and I think this seems to be a real win-win situation here. Taxpayers are getting good value for their money. It's going to shorten the course for young people. It allows the college to graduate more graduates per year.
Heavy equipment operators are employed in over 80 sectors in the province, from road and oil field construction to mining and manufacturing. Well, the latest numbers are in for Money Sense magazine, and the city of Swift Current has moved up in its ranking in one of the top spots to live in Canada. The annual review of the top 201 places to live in Canada has been unveiled by Money Sense magazine. The top spot for the 2014 ranking is St. Albert, Alberta. Other notable community rankings include Calgary at number 2, Regina in at number 9, Moose Jaw holds down the number 66 spot, Yorkton at 93, Swift Current at 114, and Port Alberni, BC rings in at 201. The annual ranking by Money Sense magazine measures the quality of life in 201 cities across Canada, looking at a range of factors, including overall population and growth, unemployment rates, average household income, and crime. According to the managing editor for Money Sense magazine, Swift Current has moved up in its ranking from 147 last year to 114 for a number of reasons.
It seems to be on a good trajectory. It was up from 147 last year. Put it in context with its small city counterparts across the country. It's at number 69. That's up from 91 last year. So that's the story of the West right now, quite frankly. We're seeing this in pretty much every city west of Winnipeg. We're seeing healthy population growth. We're seeing high incomes, high household net worths. And that's certainly true in Swift Current. Swift Current's population growth is about 6%. That puts it in the top quarter of all cities in the country. Net worths are in the top third of the country at $388,000, which is a slight improvement over last year. Unemployment is also quite strong. It's in the top 10 of all cities that we looked at. So that's probably one of the biggest driving factors for why the city is gaining ground this year.
An overall ranking, which Swift Current's mayor says has the number of layers. And any publicity for the community is usually good.
I think one year we were ranked incredibly high, and then last year we were obviously a lot lower than we are this year. So, you know what, I think we've got a great story to tell. I think we've got a lot of great things happening in our community. As I said in a previous interview, you know, I can remember one of the shortcomings of our community in stories like that was the lack of post-secondary education opportunities. And if you look at what Great Plains College is doing in Swift Current, it's, I mean, who would have thought it 10 years ago to see where they are today. So I think there's a lot of momentum in Swift Current. I think if anything, an article like that is just going to continue to promote us and let people know about us. But we'll continue to do the work that we're doing without focusing too much on the rankings in that magazine.
The full breakdown of the top places to live in Canada for 2014 is available online at Money Sense magazine. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.